A man wrongfully convicted for 17 years just walked free. And the lawyer who put him behind bars? He married the woman who convinced him to plead guilty. Now Max Cady is back, and he's not holding a grudge publicly. But behind those eyes, pure, calculated hatred. Cape Fear on Apple TV just delivered 2 of the most tension-filled episodes of the year. Let me break down everything. Welcome back, everyone. Cape Fear has officially landed on Apple TV. And after 2 episodes, I can confidently say this is one of the most atmospheric, unsettling new shows of the year. Javier Bardem plays Max Cady, a man who served 17 years for the murder of his wife and unborn child. He was wrongfully convicted. At least that's the official story. Because the more you watch, the more you realize there's something deeply wrong with this man. And the family he's targeting? Tom and Anna, a prosecutor and defense lawyer who married each other after his conviction. They look perfect on the outside, but behind closed doors, this family is absolutely falling apart. 2 episodes in and the tension is already suffocating. Let's break down everything that happened, analyze the symbolism, and discuss where this is all heading. Spoilers ahead? Let's get into it. The first episode opens with what appears to be the ideal American family. Tom and Anna, successful lawyers, beautiful home, 2 kids, Zack and Natalie. The complete picture. Anna even asks Tom if he ever feels guilty for having everything they have. And Tom says no. They're content. They feel like they've earned this life. But here's the thing. That image is completely hollow. Behind the picture-perfect exterior, every single member of this family is broken in some way. Tom and Anna share a dark secret that nobody else knows about. Something they did together. Possibly a crime, possibly something that enabled them to build the life they now have. Their son Zack is a young man with serious psychological instability, losing friends over an incident involving intimate photos of a girl he liked. Their daughter Natalie feels completely invisible within the family. Tom has to take substances just to help manage his mental state. This isn't a happy family. It's a family held together by shared guilt and willful ignorance. And Max Cady sees every single crack. Before we even properly meet Max, the show hits us with one of the darkest opening scenes on television this year. A woman is alone in her apartment. She writes a note. She tries to end her own life. She fails. Then her phone rings, and whoever is on the other end tells her to go through. Behind that controlled facade is something ancient and dangerous. Pure, concentrated hatred. The show uses 2 brilliant pieces of animal symbolism to show us exactly what Max is. The first is the family of 4 skunks found dead in the pool. 4 members of Tom and Anna's family. 4 skunks. Max is sending a message. All of you are going to pay. The second is even more powerful. A panther standing in the garden. Not attacking, not making a sound, just watching the family with absolute stillness. That panther is Max Cady. He's not a wild animal that attacks blindly. He's a predator who studies his prey, learns their movements, identifies their weaknesses, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. At the charity fundraiser, Max gives a speech about his prison sentence. He talks about how a life sentence is essentially death by 1,000 cuts. They take fingers, then toes, until eventually there's nothing left of you. Anna heard that speech, and when Zack came home from the hospital missing a toe, an injury the doctors attributed to Zack taking a substance and harming himself in the attic, Anna immediately connected it to Max's words. Is she right? Is Max beginning to deliver that death by 1,000 cuts to her family? Or is Zack's deteriorating mental health creating damage all on its own?
That ambiguity is what makes this show so effective. You're never quite sure what's Max and what's coincidence. And that uncertainty is exactly where Max wants everyone to be. Here's something fascinating about Zack that I don't think enough people are talking about. Zack is having hallucinations of Max's dead son. Think about that for a moment. Why would Zack be seeing this specific child? What's the connection? The parallels between Zack and a younger Max are impossible to ignore. Max grew up feeling inadequate, like he was never good enough for his father. Zack tells Tom directly, "Sorry, I'm not good enough for you." Both are deeply lonely. Both feel abandoned. Both have a rage simmering underneath the surface that they can't quite control. I think the show is setting up Zack as a dark mirror of Max Cady. We're watching the potential making of a killer in the same household that the original killer is targeting. That's an extraordinary piece of storytelling if they execute it properly. And with Max potentially being the mysterious Angel X messaging Zack thousands of times, if that theory holds up, then Max isn't just targeting the parents. He's trying to recruit the son.
The second episode opens in a flashback to 7 years ago inside prison. And in the space of a few brutal minutes, any remaining doubt about who Max Cady really is gets completely eliminated. 3 inmates try to kill him. What follows is bloody, savage, and genuinely frightening. Max doesn't just defend himself, he destroys them completely and efficiently, like a man who has been preparing for violence his entire life. This is who Max Cady actually is, underneath the charm and the speeches about justice and wrongful conviction. He's extraordinarily dangerous, completely capable of extreme violence, and he's been sharpening himself in prison for 17 years. Whatever is coming for Tom and Anna's family, it won't be quick and it won't be clean. In episode 2, Max acquires a dog, and the way the show frames this moment is heartbreaking in the darkest possible way. The dog has been chained up and forgotten about. No bark left, no fight, barely reacting to anything. A living creature that's been so completely broken by captivity that it's essentially just a shell. Max sees himself in this dog entirely. 17 years behind bars, chained, silenced, the world moving on without him. Whatever he was before prison, whether innocent or guilty, the man who exists now was forged in that captivity. And when Max sits in a chair in the house he's looking to buy and hallucinates seeing his wife and the child who never got to grow up, you see the full devastation of his psychology. He's craving the normal life, the wife, the house, the child, the dog, the American dream. But he destroyed that possibility with his own hands. And now he's going to make sure Tom and Anna feel that same destruction. Throughout both episodes, the show keeps circling back to this hidden thing between Tom and Anna, something they did together, something dark enough that Anna fears their own son might have discovered it.
We don't know what it is yet, but the hints suggest it goes beyond professional misconduct. Did they plant evidence against Max? Did they manufacture the case against him? Did they commit a crime together that they've been hiding behind their respectable careers all these years? Whatever it is, it's the foundation that their entire life is built on. And Max almost certainly knows exactly what that secret is. This is why their paranoia goes so deep, because they know they're not entirely innocent, and that guilt makes them vulnerable in ways that a truly innocent family wouldn't be. There are 2 fascinating moments in episode 2 that show just how far Max's influence extends, even from inside a prison. First, he found out about Byron, a prisoner who had been freed through Anna's legal firm, SJLP, and Max killed him. He couldn't stand the idea of someone else getting the freedom he was denied, especially through the very firm connected to the woman who helped imprison him. Second, he approached Ruben, a different prisoner who was considering abandoning his appeal, and convinced him to keep fighting, to never give up. Why would Max care about a stranger's appeal? Because Max doesn't want people to give up. He wants them to keep fighting. Because fighting means suffering. And suffering is what Max wants to export into the world in large quantities. He spent 17 years studying people, learning how they break,
and now he's applying everything he learned. I have to talk about Javier Bardem because this performance is something special. Taking over a role associated with Robert De Niro is an almost impossible task, but Bardem has made this version of Max Cady entirely his own.
The killing with kindness routine is genuinely terrifying to watch. When he smiles and congratulates people and acts like the most reasonable man in the room, and you know what's behind that smile, it creates this unbearable tension. And when he goes completely silent and still, even more frightening. The moments where he just sits and doesn't say a word, but his eyes are doing everything, that's masterclass acting. Patrick Wilson is solid as Tom, carrying that quiet guilt well. My only criticism of the cast is that Amy Adams feels slightly inconsistent so far. Her line delivery occasionally feels performative rather than genuine. I'm hoping she settles into the role as the season progresses, because the character of Anna is crucial to everything. The visual storytelling in Cape Fear is exceptional. That opening scene with the UV and X-ray style imagery, where the pool appears blood red, is stunning and deeply unsettling. It immediately tells you that this family is swimming in blood they haven't spilled yet. The camera movement throughout both episodes creates a constant sense of being watched. You're never fully comfortable in any scene, because the framing suggests danger lurking just outside what you can see. And when Max experiences that reaction to light being flashed onto the left side of his face, the visual distortion that follows seems to mirror his psychological fracturing. The show is showing us the inside of his mind through the camera itself. The score is also doing tremendous work. Horror shows how effective silence and sudden sound can be when done correctly. Cape Fear understands that completely.
8 episodes still to go, and the foundations are extraordinary. The family's dark secret is going to come out, and I believe Max knows exactly what it is. The question is when he decides to use that information and how. The Angel X storyline with Zack needs to pay off. If Max really is manipulating Zack directly, turning the son against the parents, that raises the stakes to a completely different level. Max's hallucinations are going to get worse. His psychology is deteriorating even as his external behavior remains controlled. At some point, the mask is going to slip completely. And whatever Tom and Anna are hiding, when that comes to light, the audience's sympathy might shift in ways we're not fully prepared for. Cape Fear isn't just a thriller about a dangerous man targeting a family. It's a story about guilt, about the lies we build our lives on, and about what happens when the consequences of those lies finally come knocking at the door. 2 episodes in, and Cape Fear is already one of the most promising new series of the year. The atmosphere is suffocating in the best possible way. The tension never releases. The performances, particularly Bardem, are anchoring what could have been a straightforward thriller and turning it into something genuinely cinematic. The practical elements are all working beautifully. The score, the cinematography, the pacing. It feels like prestige television that respects its audience's intelligence. My only concerns going forward are Amy Adams finding her footing in the role and making sure the show maintains this level of sustained tension across all 8 episodes. Apple TV has a strong track record with prestige drama, so I'm cautiously optimistic. But right now, this is appointment television.
Cape Fear is off to an incredible start. Max Cady is one of the most terrifying villains on television right now. Tom and Anna's family is fracturing from within, and the dark secret at the center of everything is going to detonate spectacularly when it finally surfaces. What do you think Tom and Anna's secret actually is? Do you think Max is Angel X messaging Zack? Is Zack going to become dangerous himself by the end of the season? Drop all your theories and reactions in the comments below. I love reading them. Make sure you're subscribed because I'll be covering Cape Fear every single week as the season unfolds. This one is going to get a lot darker before it gets any better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.